Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. This one is going to be called 10 Things I Learnt from Making a New Account in 2021. I know as a lot of you know, look, there's been a big emphasis on making a new account, what it can generate. Is this going to be something that's going to be beneficial for gifting? Kabam are yet to make an announcement. That will be Friday when they say that what is going up with making a new account and transferring units between accounts and sharing the stuff. Because look, let's face it, things have really changed from Act 1 to Act 3. But what I wanted to do is get a bit of experience from a new player perspective. And that's just the thing. Like, for a lot of you that know, if you came along to the stream today, thanks very much. We did indeed do a new free-to-play account. Now, it has been something that a lot of players have asked me in the past. It was actually something that cropped up a little while ago with Brock's dad saying, would love to see you do a free-to-play account, alt account, using the name Paul the Boy. So we indeed did that. And this is part of like a new scheme of things that I'm working on at the moment, which is that I plan to, by December 2nd week, do a new player guide, then third week, Act 5 guides and Act 6 guides, because that's what I need to work on, is do some a lot of new champions and buff champions against some of the older content and go look, here's some brand new guides, here they are better presented, because that's the thing. Some of the guides are very old, really old. In particular, if you want to know when did I last do a new player guide? That was back in 2 years ago in December, and that particular guide only really covered M's account, and it's 26 minutes long. Now I want to make something that's more compact and better, which is one of the reasons that I decided to do the new player streams that I'm going to be doing. I did one today for 4 hours, and I'm probably going to do another one on Thursday for 4 hours, as I want to get that new perspective. It's changed. Kabam Zero's done a great job when it comes to quality of life stuff, and I want to give it a go. Now, that's not what this video is about. This video is all about what are my 10 biggest things I've learnt, or takeaways, or kind of thoughts that I have over the new content, or not new content, but the new delivery of something like Act 1 to Act 3, because there are some massive takeaways. So let's break these down. In the description is a little write-up. I might do a pinned comment or kind of put this as write-up somewhere else, but it's very interesting. So the first thing that I learned when it comes to Acts 1 or the earlier acts is AI and champ choices against the path. Now it seems to be that the way that Kabam have done Act 1 and Act 2, it seems to go this process of Act 1 is kind of slower on AI champion movements. And this means that a lot of the time the champion will go into charge up a heavy attack and take ages to throw it. That's very different when it comes into Act 2 and in particular Act 3. It kind of falls into where Kabam are changing the AI's response time and its movement when it comes to basically it's Act 1, partway through Act 2, good. Act 3 onwards is just trash. It's just down to the trash AI movements. You get the defensive passive type nature of the AI there. I don't know why Kabam dramatically changed the AI's movements, but it can definitely be seen, especially from what you saw at the start of the stream where we were in Act 1 and the AI is literally going like this. Heavy attack. But then it's the next time where it's heavy attack. It's just the movements are just so different, and that's something that I just find really weird. Sometimes as well in the acts, the type of champions being chosen for some of the routes, you do have to question, especially some of just some weird, just really weird champions being put in. Jabari Panther, there's another one. I mean, thank God that's not an awakened version. You got War Machine there, especially with the way it is. Unstoppable Colossus, which, let's face it, Unstoppable Colossus was in the older stuff, right? Older content. But then you've got other ones at random, like Mephisto, and you kind of go right, why is that in there? And some other kind of really weird kind of champions on the path. I kind of get what Kabam are trying to do here. They're basically trying to brace players for the weirdness and scuff that they want to put in a different stuff, different quests, some of the more endgame content, but in particular some of the terrible stuff they do with Cavalier on a monthly basis, or what they've done since the last couple of months, maybe 2-3 months, where they put silly things in to reduce the pace and be overly specific on interaction. So it's hey, have interaction with those champions very early on. So that's something. The second thing is the importance of the usage of the Summoner's Sigil. You get 7 days use of the Summoner's Sigil, and it's actually just it's really good for new players. If you're picking up this, and which for free you are getting, you're able to make some really kind of like good gains and movements. And I kind of feel like if I had the time, I would love to like really utilize this, but I just don't know if I'm going to get the time in order to utilize it. But that's just the thing. Like, if you had this as a free thing to start off with, and you were really active and really interested in the game for the first 7 days, as soon as that went live when it comes to the Summoner Sigil, you would really, really make some gains. I'm talking like some really big advancements. There's certain stuff when it comes to the Black ISO market, which you can't really kind of get anywhere else, which just is a massive benefit. The Golden Circle quest can be helpful. You can also have extra opportunities to pick up things with Test of Challenger, so you're able to kind of grab some extra units for your trouble, and in particular your energy refresh is going to be great. And as well, as I said, the Black ISO market is giving you an opportunity to pick up some stuff for these champions that you get very early on. You know, your conversion, if you're able to get up to complete Act 4, then you'll be able to get a good chance of getting a 4-star, maybe even 2 4-stars. It just depends on like how things go with picking up more 4-star shards across the way. And the same thing with like 3-star hero crystal shard, getting more of that. But mainly when it comes to, and my personal favorite is these selectors, because then you're able to, once you acquire some of the champions, you're like, oh, this is a good champion to focus, and you can make some gains. The same way that I've made some gains with Corvus Glaive from the Glory Store. And that's what we're going to lead into the next thing that's a learning thing. And that is compensation. Now, very weird to see that if you joined, like I don't know when Kabam are going to stop the compensation for the parry and controls issues. That basically you're able to pick yourself up a nice amount of glory and also some map crystals as well. So you're able to pick up some of the stuff from that. And that's actually really good. If you were a new player to the game and you were kind of like, first of all going like, oh, what's gone wrong? Then yeah, you'll see that. But at the same time, when it comes to the glory element, you're able to really kind of put that into certain areas. And you could space that out. 3,000 glory to kick yourself off from a new player to the game is really good. If you're going off certain particular catalysts, like one thing I had to grab was, I think it was a cosmic catalyst, which is, again, weird as well because it's refreshed. I think I must have got it just before it refreshed again. You can see it says owned, no, not owned 4 of, well, it says owned 4 of 5. Yeah, so it's like I've already kind of like purchased one of these. So it must have just reset in the last 2 hours. But that's good. If they reset every day, then it's like I'm able to acquire some of the rank up resources on a daily basis that may be out of the realms of the daily proving grounds, which again is like, it's great. So I can imagine then compensation can be shared out. It's also a good reason I think Kabam don't do unit compensation because of what it can benefit for new players and the fact that you're already getting a good amount of units, but also how that would be beneficial to the gifting side of things. So we're going to touch on that as to like, you know, directions of building an alt account versus building an account to dump units into your main. Let's move on now to talk about rewards. And some of the rewards actually are not too bad. I mean, for me personally, I know what I'm doing. I know what champions I'm going to grow. But then if you're a new player to the game, sometimes you can make mistakes and kind of like, we're going to go over about, you know, things that maybe should be in a lot more in order to benefit the fact that if you're a new player to the game and you don't know who you're ranking up and you rank up something and you don't know if he's good or don't know if he or she's bad, then yeah, you can make some mistakes. So having more of the resource to rank up and do new champions is going to be very important. So picking up champs, units, revives and stuff, as a lot of us know, is really good. So for 4 hours of grind, which did include, by the way, writing this video, and there's a lot of stuff. Like I've got like a full like load of notes, which you can see on screen right now, like a full kind of dissection. I could have been more efficient if I, number one, ignored chat. Number two, you know, just went on with the grind and didn't write up. But that's very different. You know, I'm live streaming. I want to interact with people. People come out the chat, very kindly super chat, donations and whatnot. But I wanted to get down to the fundamentals. And 4 hours of grind isn't too bad, but I could have been more streamlined with what I got. And that was 1,274 units from getting up to a completion of Chapter 1 of Act 3. Now, my plan is, in future streams, to go back to there and start going through Act 4. Because, again, I want to be creating guides. I want to be redoing them. That's one thing. But the rewards to get to this point and kind of get through are actually quite good. And I will be going over something which is a key factor to making more gains in a minute. Now, from the completion standpoint of things like Act 3, you are starting yourself very, very strong. This is where that sigil comes in play, because if you're able to get yourself a completion of Act 4 in a very quick time frame, then you'll be able to benefit from some of the stuff you get from Act 3 from a completion standpoint. Same way looking at Act 4, and you get like that. But the thing is, like, you're able to absorb into that sigil if you are quick and if you're efficient, and that Act 4 rewards could mean that, you know, you might have 3 4-stars by the end of it. You really don't know when it comes to the investment side of things. Moving on. But the Act 2 side of things as well, you are making those 3-star gains going into it. The Nexus is good. The 3-star Nexus side of things, and that addition means that you get a means to focus. As well, having that 3-star Awakening Gem, again, is nice. You're able to focus on certain things. This is why I've been quite fortunate mainly in the Cosmic area, and take Icarus and Cersei out. I'm going to focus on that in a minute, but you know, getting Corvus, great pull. Cat Marvel movie, great pull. Venom, great pull. Yeah, I've got as well Nebula, and as well I've got Vision, and that's actually quite cool. I'm happy with that, because I feel like I've made some progress right there, and I'll go over some acquisition stuff in another video. But still, like, I kind of feel like those rewards have been good for beneficial of moving forward. In any case, the objectives is another thing as well. Kabam adding in objectives allows for better improvements of moving forward, and that's good. That kind of means as well, what Kabam is saying is, look, we want you to pick up more rank up resources, and this is the process of grind. Go to daily proving grounds and grab and just grind there, grab some stuff back, and that is going to be beneficial to you moving forward. The same way that Kabam seemed to be kind of like saying to you, look, we're giving you this process of improvement, which I think I really rate, and I think it's really good. And as well, I'll be looking to kind of like join I think a smaller alliance with it. So yeah, the reward side of things is good, but there are some things lacking, which again I'm going to touch in a future section. Moving on to solo events. Solo events seem to be cool. You know, arena wins doesn't always tally up with what's going on. Like on my main account, like here in my second account, it's arena wins. But then on mine at the moment, I don't know if you can see that. You probably can. But there it says hero use. So hero use is on at the moment for my main account, the RichTheMan account, and then Paul the Man has got arena wins, so it doesn't always tally up. Now I think there's some very kind of like different things here with like with stuff and how you get that. More so for hero use. Hero use seemed to be something that was very much kind of done and dusted very easily, with me being able to put 474,000 points in from grinding. And it says here like how to win points, win a fight, an event quest or story quest with a 1-star champion, you get 300 points. And the same thing there. Like, win a fight, an event, quest, or story. Like, these are kind of like being changed quite dramatically to get you hero use very, very more efficiently, which I think is, again, is really good. Now, when it comes with the process so far of champ acquisition and progress, because those things tie into each other, then first of all, you can look at this. When it comes to, like, Acts 1 up to Act 3, it's fine. It's nothing to really worry about. But Act 4 will then be a point in your kind of like career that things feel that you will have to have more acquisition of champions over various different types of rarities. And that is the biggest problem Kabam faces. They still haven't like properly sorted out a lot of stuff when you are making a jump from doing Act 5 or the early parts of Act 5 to the latter point of Act 5 to then Act 6, and you've got the gating systems, and you've got the fact that Kabam just don't really understand new players particularly well, and expect them to kind of jump into a massive skill set very, very quickly, depending on their rate of wanting to grind. And this is the thing I would say to new players, is that it would be best to kind of avoid a lot of stuff within Act 6, except for 6.1 and getting the Cavalier title. And then after that, maybe it's a case of going into your variants and doing variants through, and kind of working towards an event monthly quest stuff, going and doing that, joining alliances, and then going through. Because it still doesn't feel like very early on that you're kind of starting that process of making jumps. And if Kabam want a lot of players to go up to Thronebreaker quickly, then they're going about it the very wrong way in kind of starting that process. Because let's face it, there's going to be people like myself, and I would say that yes, you should spend 6 to 7 years on this game to feel like you have earned your dues to kind of get yourself into some of the kind of later content. But no, that's not the case, because Kabam want players to coming into this game and be Thronebreaker quickly. But then I still feel from kind of like looking at this that maybe it should be a case between Act 5, the latter points of Act 4, and maybe Act 5 as well, that your 5-star roster should be grown a lot more to take on some of the stuff when it comes to Act 6. The skill elements are something that is having to be, unfortunately, thrusted upon you when it comes to like learning, okay, well, the rotation here might have to be heavy attack, and this rotation here might have to be that. That's going to be something, again, it's all about balancing those, or spinning those plates equally, that I just don't think Kabam are kind of like at that point. But if we're looking at from going Act 1 to the early points and a good chunk of Act 4, then I would say that Kabam are doing a better job, especially from, say, when I first started playing this game. But also just finishing off the point about progress and champ acquisition, because that's important as well, but getting more 5-stars and whatever. Like from a point of saying on a monthly basis, Kabam giving out a 3-star champion, especially to new players being able to come into the game and having, like, I don't know, some free rank up gems, that would be a good idea. Especially because Xerxes and Icarus have given major gains to new players coming into the game, and that would be something good on a monthly basis to allow players to quickly pass through and create a good pace with getting that earlier content done. Number 7, item acquisition. So with item acquisition and as well rewards path spawning, so item acquisition when it comes to like ISO, when it comes to just stuff to improve and rank up your champions, it's sort of there. And there are some great stuff, as we've said, like, you know, getting items is kind of better to go to different places, go to your daily proving grounds to grab stuff, also Glory Store and other places. But also, like, what spawns on lanes, and it's been good so far to pick up energy refills. Full energy refills allowing me to kind of like get through content and keep grinding, which I think is really good. It allows players to keep themselves real kind of like funny invested in the game, and as well you just feel like you're not putting down the device because you're keeping going, which again is kind of like a nice process to kind of like see that Kabam are making, at least putting them more on the lane so people can grab that. And again, as you said, like it's the Glory Store. It's the Glory Store. It's the Black Item Market from that free Summoner Sigil that allow players to kind of get grinding. However, though, I would say one criticism with the way the Glory Store works for new players is lack of those are the basic catalysts. And look, you know, I'm sure Kabam's answer to this is like go and do the proving grounds, and that's a good point because yes, if you go to the proving grounds, that you will get some of the objectives. Yes, I can see there's lots of those Kabams. Thank you for pointing that out. But at the same time, imagine if you were able to grab them from the Glory Store. And again, it's like it's just like something that's kind of like a little helpful thing, because you may go, okay, like a new player. Difference is a lot of people would say like, oh yeah, well it's in content, it's in a proving ground. But at the same time, for a lot of new players, they might kind of go in there and just grab, and you lose all their energy. And would it be better to like go and grab from the Glory Store, especially because new players will be making mistakes more if they don't watch YouTube or they don't like ask for advice and they just go in like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Then it's like, well, they may have ranked up some real duds and not really realized it, because at the end of the day, it takes a long time to understand whether or not a champion is good based on various different factors. Next up, let's talk about crystals. So point number 8 is crystals. The really weird thing is Grandmaster crystals are available to players when they first start off playing the game, and this can make some massive gains for some players. It also can be a bit of a sinkhole when it comes to spending your units. Now, that's just the thing. If you're new to the game and you want to spend and you're a big whale, then great. You know, you're lining the pockets of Kabam, and you're keeping the servers running, and also you're keeping people in work, and well, I don't know, you're helping out to a degree. But at the same time, there are some other things available to players. Like you can get yourself the unit bundle, which is good, I guess. There's also something here, and I think it's like a first-time purchase of something right there with the Peter Parker's wallet bonus, where you get 5 times as much as that. I didn't want to click that then, otherwise I want to keep this free to play. This one here as well, where you can get like a premium level rewards, unlock bonus level rewards and claim them as you level up. So as soon as you level up to level 60, you can buy that there, and it gives you like a head start. I got to be honest, it's not exactly kind of like groundbreaking to make you like 100% gains. It's not getting you 6 stars. It's certainly not giving you 6 stars at rank 3. 6 stars at rank 2 and whatever. Like, I'm sure that Kabam would never want that, but it's like, it's giving you like some gains. I think the most you can really get is 5 stars right off the bat, especially with these crystals. So yeah, it's got pay to win side of things if you wanted to go down that route. I mean, look at the situation. Like, when M, I think, was level 30, she got a free Grandmaster crystal, popped it open, and it was a Warlock. So she had a 5-star, and she was doing content like Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, and steamrolled through it. And that's just the thing. If it drops, it's helpful. But at the same time, I don't know if that's good or bad. Because at the end of the day, you'll need lots of 5 stars over a very different smorgasbord of coverage when you reach stuff like variants, but also when you reach Act 6 and maybe to a degree Act 5. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword with it. I don't know if it's something Kabam would ever look down the route of, but it is what it is. Either way, crystal purchases, yeah, 2 stars, 3 stars at a very early start point, and you can be lucky and you pick up some really good stuff. I mean, look at that, from these monthly, and that's a good thing as well. Kabam's monthly rollout of some of these Cavalier crystals, which they give out a lot more nowadays, especially here with the Grandmaster World's End crystal and the Grandmaster Bewhiskered crystal, you are getting an opportunity to at least get a 5-star, which could be beneficial. It enters an RNG factor to new players, but at the same time, it could be good for anybody's roster. A 4-star even, at a very early point, if you're doing some of the objectives, can give you some massive gains. So that's really good to see. Masteries now. Point number 9, Masteries. Masteries are auto unlocked in certain areas, and we've got parry right here. And then it's so you start for parry. Parry's kind of like, it feels like, I think pretty soon it's auto unlocked for you, which is good. As you go through training grounds and you kind of like pointed in the direction of kind of like just kind of like get into understanding parry. I think as soon as you're doing training grounds, you get it or something like that. And then you can go down to dexterity. Now, I'm not going down to dexterity just yet, and I will be explaining in a little quick tip video when I start doing my new player guides, is you can actually get dexterity unlocked for free without spending units. How? You might ask. Well, that's going and doing lower variants. Not variants themselves, but classics of back issues. So yeah, if you go to back issues and you go into the variant 2 to the variant 5 and you click on it, I'll just click on one here, you'll see you'll be able to get a Stony Mastery core from the completion of it. So you don't actually need to spend a single unit and get yourself dexterity. So that's a little quick tip there. That's gonna be if you've missed that, then you missed that. But yeah, that is like massively helpful for you getting dexterity. And if you have a main account like me, going to make a new account and you're like, oh man, dexterity, it's like, miss it. But yeah, that's just something I kind of found. You can have an option depending on what you're building. If you're building an account for the purpose of unloading alt units into your main, which, by the way, I am more than likely going to be interested in sharing between my main account and this account. So when this account here might, depending on Friday, might send, I don't know, 4 great gifting crystals to my main account is going to send the same amount back, or send some back to this account here. So I want to find out what benefits it will give this account, because if it picks up 10,000 5-star crystals, then that's made me gains. And this is why December's a critical month for gifting. So you gift your alt account the means to make progress. The same way, if you've got a friend that's starting off in a game, or you know someone who's just about to start the game, you effectively can send something across. This is why you see like loads of refer a friend things. And I don't know why Kabam haven't ever done refer a friend in Marvel Contest of Champions. Because, or refer an account, refer an alt account, because it's like saying, well, if your main benefits, then your second account benefits, or your main benefits and your friend benefits. So I'm confused. I'm confused why Kabam have never done that. But in any case, I digress. You can look to, in proficiencies, do something with XP, so you can do wisdom. This means that your account can start kind of like gaining again more on XP, so you can make the first early gains. You can recover that back at a later date, so that's something to bear in mind. And as well, very much early on, if you're looking to spend gold in some of the various different areas, like with certain kind of masteries, you can do. I don't know if I should have done that, but like it's just to illustrate a point. Gold spend over unit spend. That's the kind of thing to point out. The final thing is all about saving units. As I said, that method of saving units and getting units. Getting units is easier as a not free to play, but as a new account. Seems like the unit take back from doing some of the grind, especially because now there's a lot less of quests and missions and things to do. This means it's more enjoyable. If I was a new player coming in, I would enjoy it. Not to say that, you know, it's not completely flawed, because there's a lot of things that you have to be in for the long term when it comes to the game as opposed to the short term. And there's a lot of acquisition that needs to be done further down the line. But at the end of the day, you can save units by avoiding key factors. And keeping those units for things like, look, Masteries, like Masteries down the line, which is important. Cyber Weekend, which again is important, but mainly for those Mastery spend. And like, here's the thing with this, like, you make the decision what you're growing this account for. Is it alts, or is it a case that you're going to be growing it in order to kind of like swap gifts for gifting? By the way, again, Friday is when we hear back about the restrictions. So yeah, those have been the 10 things that I've learnt, and the 10 things that are interesting to share with players from creating a brand new account. So far I invested 4 hours into this, and I plan to invest a few more, and we'll see how this kind of works. And I'll be looking to create some more guides very, very soon. So if you want to keep up to date with the streams, keep locked to the channel, subscribe with post notifications on all. Thank you very much for watching this video. And what are your thoughts now after growing a new account? Are you growing an alt for one reason or a gifting reason? Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out some other content located on screen right now. And I'll see you in the next video, whenever that will be. Have a good one.